We're starting in 5 minutes, boys.
Okay, thanks, Monma. Really excited for the show today. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Whoa, look at this. Jimmy the Bag, a message from Gabe Morency. I wonder what this could all be about. Let's take a look at this, Jim.
What's up, Pete? I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is I'm coming to San Jose, Costa Rica. We're going to be kicking it live. It's going to be an awesome betcast, Super Bowl 52. The bad news is if I don't do well on the tables, I might have to borrow a couple of bucks and I might have to sleep on your couch. But either way, we're going to tear it apart, man. Super Bowl 52, live from Costa Rica. See you there, Pete.
Jimmy the Bag. Gabe Morency is going to be joining us for our Super Bowl podcast. This is scary and exciting at the same time. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? Are you looking forward to this?
Very much so, man. It's not a party unless Gabe Morency's down here.
You think you can handle hanging? You think you can survive an entire Super Bowl in the same room with Gabe Morency?
Super Bowl day's the only day you're allowed to get day drunk. You're allowed to get all fucked up. It's part of the fucking celebration.
I just had a brainstorm. You know what would be a great idea is if Donnie Rightside came down here too. You think he'd be willing to come down?
Check this shit out. I'm way ahead of you, Pete.
No way.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm in. Send me down there. Costa Rica, let's do it. February 4th, Super Bowl Sunday, live betcast. We'll be there before, during, and after the game, breaking it all down. Let's win some money.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to have a full house for the Super Bowl Betcast, the official SBR Super Bowl Betcast. There's going to be Jimmy, me, and Donnie, and Gabe, all powered by BetOnline, and it's going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Super Bowl Sunday, February 4th. Jimmy the Bag, are you psyched?
Psyched, man. Let's get that cash.
Sportsbook Review Super Bowl Betcast is brought to you by BetOnline.
Okay. Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak and the Bag show for Friday, January 26th, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Jimmy the Bag. I am pretty much cooked with another tough week under our belts. We've given a bunch of bets on today's card, which doesn't have a lot of games, but some interesting line moves that have come down the pike. First of all, money has come in on Brooklyn, so for the Nets. So I was thinking that I was going to wait to see if that one hit 7. It's now down to a 5.5. So I missed out on taking that one at 6.5. And I'm a little bit concerned that I took Northern Kentucky at 6.5, and now some serious money has come in on Oakland. So we'll discuss all of that in a bit, and we're also going to get once again your thoughts on the Pegasus Cup coming up in horses, and I've looked at the MMA card coming up this weekend a little bit. So let's jump right into college basketball. I'm definitely concerned that strong money has come in on Oakland. Someone might be out for Northern Kentucky, or is that just someone thinking that it's a game that's more likely than not to be close? Let's start with the Buffalo-Ohio game at 6:30. I did give the under on that one, which has not moved at all. I gave 157.5 on the under as an official pick, which is still there. And Jimmy the Bag, did you look at that one?
I've looked at all these games, so ready to cap them all, but uncomfortably, I'm going against you on this.
You like the over?
I do.
Okay.
And, as I said, and I sent it in, and it's not with great passion that I go against you on this. But Buffalo is a different team with Wes Clark running the show. They lost his first 2 games at Syracuse, at Texas A&M, reeled off 8 straight wins. He averages 15.3 points, 6.1 assists. The team has scores in Massenberg, 18.6 points. Harris, 13.3 points. Carruthers, 9.4 points. And size. 6'8", 250-pound Nick Perkins, 16.2 points, 6.3 boards. And 2 guys at 6'10" on the bench in Montel McCray and Kenneth Smart. I can't really see how Ohio guards Mike Laster, 15.4 points, and Tavion Kirk, 14.4 points, can trade buckets with the high-flying Bulls, but they are going to try. They're going to try to run with them. I imagine they're going to try to run with him. Third leading scorer, Jordan Dartis, 12.9 points, 3.1 boards, 2.4 assists, has a hip injury. They're going to need him tonight. They have just one big and 6'9", 264-pound Doug Taylor. If Doug Taylor gets in any foul trouble, the scoring will go up, getting that big body off the floor. My mic is fucked up. Everyone's saying my mic is fucked. Oh, shit, okay. Okay, so I guess nobody's heard that? Or has anyone heard this? Now too loud. Quit whispering. Oh, fuck, man. All right. Okay, we good? Okay. Jimmy wants us to learn to read lips. Okay, sorry, guys. So, okay, this is what I see happening. I won't go through everything I just said right there, but Ohio has one big in Doug Taylor, who's good, 6'9", 264 pounds. Buffalo has 3 bigs, and they're going to try to run at Doug Taylor and get him off the court. If you look at the points per minute with Taylor off the court, they're much higher than when he's on the court. So I imagine that will be Buffalo's plan. I also think that Ohio's guards, Mike Laster and Tavion Kirk, are going to try to run with Buffalo's fast guards. Dartis is going to be out of the lineup, or he's questionable, and that is not very good for the over. But when I broke down pace and when we broke down different point scoring scenarios, we had it at 160 points, and we had it at a close game. Now, such a close game that I almost took Buffalo on the spread, and I decided not to. But what I did feel was like that the 157 was a little bit lower than we expected the score to end up at, and I thought this was an opportunity to take the over. But I don't like going against you.
So you capped it with other guys then? And you all discussed it, and you all agree with each other.
We agreed that now, in saying that, I'm not certain that they all took the over because it's at 157 and we saw it at 160. Now, Native Queen says Buffalo first half against the spread and second half over. Twatty Latte has Ohio plus 7.5. Yes. Ole Miss says Buffalo big. Now, I do not. I see this as being a close game. Even without Dartis, I see this as being a close game. Not enough for me to take Ohio, though.
Okay. Well, it's just one pick that I made, and if it loses, it loses. I didn't double up on it or anything, but you're going to take it over here.
I am.
All right, well, Bet 365 has only 156.5, so we can give you that one. Ohio over 156.5, so there's a very tiny chance that Jim and I will both cash because I took the under 157.5 at minus 110, which is still available at the Greek and a few other places. And Jim's going to take the Bet 365 line, which is 156.5, and that's why line shopping is so important. We're line shopping right now at SBRodds.com. Slight chance that we could both cash on our picks here. Jim's on the over 156.5. Yeah, I mean, Buffalo, obviously a team that can put up the points in a hurry at any point in time in the game. I was just seeing this one as more of like a low 150s type of a final score. Jim sees it as more of a 160, low 160s type final score, and we will see who turns out to be right once again. Man, wouldn't that be something if we're both right? It lands right on 157 and we both cash. Wouldn't that be something, Jimmy the Bag?
It would be something. And I was thinking it from the Buffalo coaching perspective, how I would play this game, and I would go at Doug Taylor nonstop. So Montel McRae, Kenneth Smart, I would not do it with Nick Perkins.
Yeah.
But I would bring in McRae and Kenneth Smart early to hammer it, continually hammer at Taylor and try to get Taylor into foul trouble. Because when he's off the court, the pace rises very quickly.
Okay, sounds good. Now, the other 7 o'clock games, what were the plays that I gave? I gave the over Dartmouth at Brown, which was at 149, although I think that might have been an offline at Heritage at SBR Odds reporting. I might have to switch it to 150 because now Heritage on SBR Odds. Sometimes SBR Odds shows wrong odds, and right now they're showing 147.5, which is obviously not the actual line at Heritage right now. So I might have to switch my pick to 150, but I took the over on that one. Harvard Yale, I was leaning under, and a lot of people in the morning in the chat box were agreeing with that. That one has not moved. That one is still at 134.5. Ryder St. Peter's, I took the under despite the fact that the first game they played went very high scoring. And Detroit Wright State, I took Wright State minus the points and the under in that one as well. And those lines have also not moved much. Out of the 7 o'clock games, Jim, what are your thoughts and any picks on any of those games?
I have picks, and maybe my only concern about today's card is that I have too many picks. So I have picks on all of these games. Okay. So which would you like to start with?
Let's start with the Dartmouth Brown game. I gave the over, and Heritage was showing 149 on SBR Odds in the morning, but I think that might have been just a bad feed. So I'm going to take. I think I'm going to adjust my line to 150. I'm liking the over on that one. What do you think, Jim?
Shit. Makes me uncomfortable. I'm taking the under in this game, and man, do not like the way this show has started. Dartmouth lost 5 in a row. 6'5" seniors Miles Wright, and 6'9", 215-pound sophomore Will Emery are their best rebounders at just 4.7 and 4 apiece. Point guard Brendan Barry, 11.8 points, 4 assists, leads the team. Dartmouth scores just 69.6 points per game, and only 6 teams in all of Division I basketball get less rebounds. Brown plays at a higher pace, led by point guard Brandon Anderson, 18.7 points and 3.9 assists. They won't have to play at a fast pace against the slow-moving Big Green, and that's my whole thought process around this game. With both teams small and bad at rebounding, no one will have the advantage, and all misses will be up for grabs. Brown is the better offensive team, but they shoot worse. They shoot only 32% from 3. Now, a lot of people already I see, or not a lot, but Joshua Garay says over on the Brown game, definitely. But Ben Goldstein says I would lean under on Dartmouth, but I'm just taking Brown by the points. I feel Chi Archibald says don't give us their heights and weights, and I say to you, Chi suck my dick. I've been working my fucking ass off all week, and I'll give whatever fucking statistical information I fucking please. Okay.
That's nice breakdown, Jimmy the Bag, though. I can understand why you, so you're saying that Brown's preferred style of play won't be necessary here to beat Dartmouth, and that's why they won't be winning in a high-scoring game as they often do.
That is my thought process and prediction around this.
Similar to how they beat New Jersey Tech in a low-scoring game. I mean, Brown has had some games that have gone relatively modest scoring. This is a very interesting one. Very interesting breakdown there. Jimmy the Bag, okay. Well, I can't say that I'm too happy to hear that your in-depth analysis of these games is going against my opinions as well. But let's see what are you going to take here, Jim?
I'm taking the full game under.
All right, so the full game under. The line is headed up a little bit, and yeah, I don't think that 149 was ever an actual line at a Heritage. I think that was just a bad feed. So I'm going to switch my pick to a 150. 150 is going to be my official, because I'm looking around. Pinnacle never had 150. None of these other books ever had anything under 150. So, all right, for the under right now, line chopping, we will give you 151 minus 110 at Intertops U Wager. Here we go, under 151 minus 110. So once again, there's a slight chance that not that we could both win, but that one of us will get a push and one of us will get a win. I'm gonna be on the over 150 minus 110, and Jim is on the under 151 minus 110. And other people in the chat box were saying that they were liking Brown minus the points. Let me see. Look at some other. Let me see. Okay, and let's see. What else do you like from the 7 o'clock games, Jim?
Next up is where are we?
7 o'clock Eastern time.
So we have Harvard and Yale is one of them?
Yes, Harvard and Yale. We can go to that one. I was leaning under. People in the chat box are leaning under. I've kept it as a lean, not an official pick yet.
I am, and doubling up on this game, I am on the under, and I'm also on Yale. Even if Harvard's star guard Bryce Aiken plays, because he's questionable, he may be coming back. He will just not be his self. He tried to give it a go on the 6th of January and lasted 4 minutes. They can't score without him. He's been out since December 6th. Yale's leading scorer, Maioni, 16.4 points per game, is coming off a 3 for 15 performance from the field and 0 for 7 from 3 in their 1-point loss to Brown. I expect a bounce-back game. 6'10" Paul Atkinson can and will be able to handle Harvard's lone big and 6'9", 235-pounder Chris Lewis. I am on Twadi Latte has just come in and said Harvard and Yale under 134. I went into this game capping it, knowing that he was on the under. So I was kind of looking to, wanting to agree with him. Not forcing it, but wanting to agree with him because of how hot and how well he's been doing, especially on the totals and especially on the unders. I see this as a passionate game that will go towards Yale side regardless of whether Aiken plays or not. And I predict if Aiken does come back and play that it will be an even better play on the under.
All right. Well, certainly a lot of people agreeing with Espiritualate says Dartmouth Brown under 150. He likes that one. That's certainly nice to see for your sake. Let's see. All right. So, and Espiritualate also likes the Harvard Yale under 134, and I believe Native Queen also likes, she posted one of these plays that she agrees with you on. Can't find it. All right, so Where the hell is it? All right, can't find it. All right, so you're going to take the under here, Jim, right?
I am.
All right, and I will take the under as well. Everyone seems to be liking the under. For me, it was a lean. I will convert that one to an official pick as well. So Jim's going to take Yale under 130. Let's see. Well, you could have 135 minus 129 or 134.5 minus 110. I'm going to take under 134.5 minus 110.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. So under 134.
134.5 minus 110.
And I'm taking Yale.
Okay, let me find the best odds for that. That line has gotten bet up for sure. That is now up to 4.5, and there are no 4s available that I'm seeing. So we can give you a Yale minus 4.5 minus 102. You want that one?
I do.
All right, so Jim's on the under 134.5 minus 110, minus Yale minus 4.5 minus 102, and I am on the under 134.5 minus 110 as well. All right, St. Peter's Rider. I saw someone else posting that they like the over in the St. Peter's Rider game. What do you like, Jim?
This was a very difficult game to break down, and let's talk about it, and then we can talk about the decision that was made. Ryder had revenge in mind when they played St. Peter's on the road in their last meeting after being swept last year and shot incredibly well. St. Peter's was up 6 at the break, and Ryder went off. They ended up going 10 for 16 from 3 and shooting 54.5% from the field. Demencio Vaughn went for 20 more than his average. He went 5 for 6 from 3. In his last 4 games, other than this one, he's gone just 0 for 7 from 3. Ryder has 2 bigs and 6'8", 223-pound freshman Frederick Scott, 13.7 points, 7.5 boards, and 6'9", 220-pound sophomore Marshall, who's at 10.4 points and 6.4 boards. St. Peter's has no answer for them. So in that last game, St. Peter's was out-rebounded 38-24. Now, to balance that out, Ryder is terrible from the free throw line, shooting just under 60%, but they went 18 for 27 against them in their last game. Marshall's their worst free throw shooter, but he shot 7 for 8 from the free throw line. Now, this wasn't a game where St. Peter's shot poorly. St. Peter's shot very well as well. When I broke this all down, I initially was going to take St. Peter's to go into Ryder and cover this spread. And then I couldn't do it after seeing how badly they got out-rebounded, seeing that they shot very well. Even though Ryder shot out of this world, it's not like St. Peter's didn't shoot well. I just stayed off of the game.
Okay, David Orellana says I took Ryder over. Okay, I'm taking the under, but again, just one play, and if it loses, it's just one unit, although I don't like to lose a unit. But I took a shot with the under on this one. I did take a shot with the under the first time they played and got burned. I think I took it 2 ways, actually, the first time they played, and I got burned 2 ways. But all right, a lot of people agreeing with Yale as well. S.J. Shark Ruiz says I got Yale minus 3.5. Very nice. Native Queen like St. Peter's first half against the spread. Okay. And, I'm going to stay off of that one as far as the side is concerned. I'm going to stick with my play on the under, though. And everyone liking the under in the Harvard-Yale game, I guess that's a good sign, although not necessarily a lock sign, but a good sign. Okay, Jeremy M. likes Brown laying the points and the under. And good luck, Jimmy. Harvard. Jeremy M. likes Harvard getting the points and the under. So more people agreeing with your play on the under in the Brown game than agreeing with my play on the over. 2 or 3 people agreeing with my play on the over, and about 4 or 5 people agreeing with your play on the under. Let's move on. Okay, Jimmy the Bag. The other game at 7 o'clock is Detroit Wright State. I took Wright State minus 11 and the under minus 153.5. What do you think, Jim?
I am with you completely and totally. I am on Wright State. Now, I'm not going to double up on this game, but I'm going to take Wright State on the full game. Detroit is healthy now, but it's pretty clear that Jaleel Hogan and Tariq Jones have not been hitting the books, won't be back anytime soon from their academic suspension. So the idea was that maybe money started coming on Detroit, and we thought maybe that was because there was a somewhat close game last time Wright State went to Detroit. In that game, Hogan and Jones combined for 25 points and 15 boards. This team is not as strong as they were in that meeting. The important thing is that do everything forward, 6'9", 225-pound. Cameron Chapman is back in action from his concussion. He had a tough time in his first game back, but looked very good last Saturday versus Oakland, putting up 24 points, 10 for 16 shooting, and 10 boards. Chapman will have his hands full with Wright State's big 6'9", 270-pound Ludon Love, 11.4 points, 9.1 boards. Wright State leading scorer Grant Benzinger is coming off 2 bad shooting games in a row. I like taking a player like that. He's going to step up tonight, I believe. Now, the big thing that we're on Wright State for is they need to stomp on this team if they want in the NIT or have any tourney aspirations. They have to take care of business here, and I think they're going to do it. So I am on
Wright State, full game.
Okay, -11, -110. So you did look into this in depth. This is what you do well, Jim. So Detroit's getting healthier, and they had a nice game against Oakland in certain respects last time, but that doesn't make you nervous about this big spread here.
No, it doesn't. This is a statement game for Wright State. And yes, I like Detroit's guards, but Jaleel Hogan and Tariq Jones were extremely important to this team, and they kept them in that game against Wright State. We are going to see moving forward that Cameron Chapman can't do it all on himself. It can't just be Cameron Chapman and two fast-scoring guards. They're going to lose. This is a big spot for Wright State to stomp on them. And I think they are going to do that. I think this is a double-digit win, and I trust Wright State to
But
do
Detroit's
the job.
in better shape than they were when they went into Indiana, when they went into IUPUI, and we all had them on that one. So
Totally, exactly. So
much different team.
Much different team. Well, as much as Jaleel Hogan and Tariq Jones are important to this team, Cameron Chapman is the heart and soul of this team, and he was out for those few games with a concussion. He played a big role in the last time they played Wright State. So then he came back in the IUPUI game and looked terrible, and they didn't want to play him much. But then on Saturday night versus Oakland, he played 37 minutes, and put up a great line. He's a great player. Played for Michigan and had to sit out a year to play for Detroit.
So now I'm starting to get nervous about this one, Jim. I'm thinking about taking it back. What do you think?
Sure. And what is it about my breakdown that made you nervous?
Well, because Detroit is clearly on the improve.
I don't see how they can be right now. Okay, let's say they're on the improve, but they're clearly not as good as they were when they played Wright State last. In a 7-point victory, Wright State victory in Detroit. That was a much better Detroit team that's going to than the ones going to Wright State tonight.
Okay, Jim. All right, I'll stick with it.
No, I won't take any offense. Please, I won't take any offense.
No. I just, but you've already broken this down, and you're not worried about the fact that Detroit is better than they were a couple games ago.
Better than they were a couple games ago. Worse than they were 7 games ago.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your take on the total? Obviously, Detroit can be a very high-scoring team, or they can be a team that gets held down. What's your take on the total, Jim?
I think there's going to be baskets here. I think there's going to be baskets. But if Wright State lets Detroit run wild, then they're in trouble. I think they have to slow the game down. I think Love's got to punish Chapman down low. Love's got 50 pounds on Chapman, and they're the guys who are going to be battling for all the boards.
All right, so let me look at some of these comments here. Let's see, comments that people are. David Orlana says Wright State my play of the day. Let's see. Ben Goldstein, is anyone else on Wright State and the under? Yes, that is the pick. Those are the picks that I gave. Let me see. David Orlana says took Wright State. Other comments here. Wright State my play of the day. Let's see. Darryl Lyle says Detroit has covered 4 straight games on underdogs of 9 or more. Indian Cowboys on Detroit. That's not a good sign either. Darryl Lyles likes Detroit. Let's see. Let me see. G Money Johnson says Wright State has a big game next. They will overlook Detroit. What do you think?
I think that if Wright State doesn't smash Detroit at home, they can kiss all of their postseason aspirations away.
Okay.
Pooh Bear's on Detroit plus. Yeah,
I'm pulling my bet, Jim. Sure. I'm pulling my bet. I'm gonna take Detroit here. I'm gonna pull it back. Right now, Pinnacle has plus 11.5, minus 114. So there's a slight chance that if it lands on 11, I'll win a free unit there. But I'm pulling it back. The more we discuss this, the more you break down. I listen to what you have to say, Jim. The more I think that. I'm not as high on Wright State giving this many points in this spot to a team like Detroit. So I'm going to take it back plus 11.5. And as far as the total is concerned, I think I'm going to stick with that. I like the under at 153.5, which I bet. And as always, as regular viewers know, I feel much more confident, much better, and I've done much better long term with my totals than my sides in college basketball. So that's what I'm doing. If it was a total that you disagreed with me on, I'd probably stick with it. But aside with that breakdown and some other information coming in on the chat box, I'm pulling it. So I'm taking Detroit plus 11.5, minus 114 as a hedge out. Okay, so Jim is on the under in down Brown Dartmouth. He's on Yale minus the points and the under in Yale Harvard. He's passing on St. Peter's Rider, and he's taking a Wright State minus 11. Now let's move on to the 8 o'clock game, Wisconsin, Michigan State. Interesting matchup, total pass for me. What's your take on this one, Jim?
Well, I think I'm not going to take Michigan State on the spread. I was hoping that it would move down, and has it moved down increment?
The spread, no, has not moved much.
But if Michigan State destroys Wisconsin, the game will go under. The best spot I see here is the under, and I know that it's being bet up, so all the money's going on the over. The Badgers have lost 10 straight. They're coming off an 18-point loss at Iowa, or 10 straight at Michigan State. They're coming off an 18-point loss at Iowa. This is their 5th road game over their last 6. They've lost every one of them. They're a bad team that can't protect the rim, and they sulk when they fall behind. They don't step up. Ethan Happ has got to get in these guys' ears. It just seems like as soon as they fall behind by 8 or 9, 10 points, they just kind of their shoulders go down and they don't seem to want it bad. Who's going to defend Bridges and Jaren Jackson Jr.? And there's nobody. In Bridges' last 2 games, he's averaged 26.5 points and shot 76.9%. Jackson just put up 21 points, 11 boards, 6 blocks, and their 13-point win at Illinois. Now, I think Michigan State is overrated, but Wisconsin can't be trusted to play well. And so I'm going to take the under, and I like that it's being bet up.
Okay, let's see. It hasn't been bet up that much. I'm seeing 136.5. There's no 137 right now. Just 136.5 minus 110. You like that one?
I do.
All right, Michigan State under 136.5. In previous years, this would have been a play that I would be all over. Right now, I'm just going to hold off this game. The game makes me nervous, and I'm going to hold off of it. A lot of interesting comments coming in. Let's see. A lot of interesting comments coming in. So a lot of people saying that, back and forth. JB Pay says, my lean is Detroit, honestly. But here's a nice comment from Barham Dog Jenkins. I have good feeling on this game. Detroit is awful. Detroit does pick it up late in the game, something to keep in mind. I am on Wright State game and first half. So that's a nice endorsement right there. And a lot of people just sort of leaning / taking Detroit plus 12. So it'll be an interesting one. We'll see how it turns out. I'm happy that I took it back. And here we go. Joe D says Wright State win and covers. ATS 81-66. So that would be nice. A cover for you and an under for me. And Barham Dog Jenkins says if you play D against Detroit, they shut down.
Yeah. And they lost a lot of athleticism with Tariq and Hogan now.
On the other hand, McGogster says, I'm on Wright State. Okay. Also on the, McGogster says also on the under in that one. Okay. Very, very nice. Let's see. And then here we go. Mutt Beast likes over. And why are people talking about what Mutt Beast likes, but he's not in here commenting, telling us what he likes himself? This is a very strange development in the saga of Mutt Beast. This guy, Bruce Ian, is now the spokesperson for our one of our favorite posters and commenters here, Mutt Beast. Bruce Ian is communicating to us what Mutt Beast likes, but Mutt Beast is not actually in here himself communicating what he likes. Mutt Beast is quickly climbing up the ranks of commenters into the top 10.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I love what he posts. I love the unexpected circumstances that come with him. Every show.
Mutt Beast gone tout.
Yeah, is that what it is?
I don't know.
Is that what it is?
That's what I see
Mutt,
golfer say.
Has Mutt Beast already gone tout? Man of few words. Mutt Beast, very, very curious persona here. Anyway, I guess I'm happy to know what he's on, even if he's not saying it, although it could be that there's some misdirection here. How do we know that Bruce Ian is telling us the truth about what Mutt Beast is on?
Oh, Chi Archie is back.
Oh.
Nice to have you back, man. Sorry. I just, when we're grinding all week, it comes Friday, and
yes.
God damn, I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm grinding my fucking ass off, and if I want to give people's heights and goddamn weights, I'm going to fucking do it.
David Orellana says Loshak, Detroit is so bad. Is that true? Is Detroit so bad?
Detroit is so bad.
Yeah, Detroit is
but
so
they
bad.
have some offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're bad. They don't have the pieces to win basketball games.
I might have been overthinking myself in the take back. All right, I just took it back. It's okay. I might have. Lucky Luciano says Mutt Beast has given 4 of 5 good picks. Yes, but we're wondering why he now has a spokesman instead of just saying himself.
His simplicity.
Very interesting. Here we go. Stephen Alice says there's a student protest at Michigan State tonight. President and athletic director stepping down.
Yes. There's a bunch of things going on at that school, as we know, and I'm not entirely sure that it will have an effect on the basketball team.
Another wrinkle in the saga. Bruce Ian says now, I am Mutt Beast, but at work on my name. The saga gets stranger and stranger. Now Mutt Beast spokesman is claiming to be Mutt Beast himself.
No, but that does sound like Mutt Beast, doesn't it?
It does.
I am Mutt Beast, but at work on my name.
Interesting.
Oh, Grabica Mech says, I'm Mutt Beast too.
Oh my God! See, this is what the CIA does. You know, the disinfo, right? They create dozens of false conspiracies so that the actual conspiracies get lumped in with them, and you can't tell what's true from what's false. Everyone is claiming to be Mutt Beast.
We are all Mutt Beast. Me too.
Whoa. That just blew my mind. All right. Okay. All right. Well, damn. Yes, I think the upshot is that I'm now thinking that, it's just that, like, it's all the things you talked about the Detroit game. First of all, you got to Wright State. I know that Wright State, wants a statement game here, but they might be in a look-ahead spot a little bit. Detroit is getting a little bit healthier, so they might get a backdoor cover. It's 11 points, which is like kind of a lot. You know what I mean? I'd much rather this be 9.5. So now I'm overthinking. Now I'm thinking that maybe I shouldn't have taken it back. Shouldn't have taken back my take back.
I think that
Wright
State
State
is going to stomp on this team.
Yeah. All right. I hope they do, because you'll get a cash there, and maybe I'll get a cash if they win by 11 exactly. I'm taking the under 153. All right. Next game, very important. All right. Now we have to be serious for a second, folks. Oakland against Northern Kentucky. I took the over on this one, first half and full game, which I'm okay with. I'm liking it. But I also took Northern Kentucky. In the morning, it was 6.5 or 7. Of course, I took 6.5, and now it's down to 6 or 6.5. So some clear money has come in on Oakland. Why would that be, Jimmy the Bag?
Well, first off, let me say thank God we're on the same play here. That's a fucking relief. Let's break it down. So first off, the Norse are a tough squad that can score almost as well as Oakland, but can defend better than them. The best two players on the floor, though, play for the Golden Grizzlies. Kendrick Nunn, 26.4 points per game, 4.8 boards, 4.2 assists. He's very good. He put up 70 points over his last two games. And then they've got 6'7" Jalen Hayes, 19.5 points, 8.4 boards. He plays right beside Isaiah Brock. The two combined for 24 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 blocks last night against Detroit Mercy. Isaiah Brock is blocking 5 or 6 shots a game. These two teams met January 5th at Oakland. The Golden Grizzlies were up 47-41 before the Norse rallied to win 87-83. Norse point guard Levon Holland, 13.8 points, 4.4 boards, 5.1 assists, is really good. The Golden Grizzlies have 2 point guards, and they're now using 5'9" Braylon Neely more. He was sort of the backup before, and he's taken over the lead spot over the last 10 days or so. Now, Neely is going to have to... Neely knows how to feed Kendrick Nunn, and they can score. The Oakland Grizzlies are just a very exciting team. I think if you're a fan of basketball, you'll cheer for this team the way they play. They score. It's almost like Detroit is an offensive team. It's exciting to watch them play. I like Oakland. I wish I could take Oakland in this game, but I can't. But I can take the over because I expect Oakland to play very well. I expect Oakland to step up. And this game is on national television. That's a big deal. So I guess Northern Kentucky hasn't been on national television in a long, long time. And so there's some idea that maybe that pressure will get to Northern Kentucky. I don't think it gets to Oakland. I don't think it gets to Kendrick Nunn. I like that this team can score, and I'm a fan of the Grizzlies.
Well, Maxwell Smart seems to be liking Oakland a lot. He likes Oakland a lot, it seems to be what he's saying here. Darryl Lyle says Oakland has a good point guard. Okay. Well, I'm on the over in this one, and I'm definitely liking the overs more than I'm liking my pick on Northern Kentucky. So we'll see how it all plays out, but I definitely took the over. Darryl Lyles likes the over, and very interesting. Okay, Jimmy the Bag, what are you going to do here?
I am taking the full game over.
Okay, just the full game, not the first half. Okay, this line has not moved at all. The over is still 157, right where I took it in the morning and right where I bet it. Over 157 minus 110. That's a complete market-wide line. And so it sounds like you think that Northern Kentucky could get a cover here, but that you respect Oakland a lot and that you think they're going to keep it down, make it go to the wire.
I am, and we got some more information coming in. JP Fahey says, and JP's been very helpful to us, says, I'm on Northern Kentucky heavy. They are very underrated.
Wow.
And then One Hardio says, Big Man was on Northern Kentucky over.
Yes. I mean, I think the over, look, in college basketball, I'm not necessarily saying this is going to be the case in 2 weeks or next year, but certainly right now, there have been some overs that have just been clear overplays, like pretty much every William & Mary game against anyone else who also likes to play fast. I can't think of the others offhand, but, yesterday I had, just easy, no-brainer casher with the William & Mary Towson over, right?
It was very easy.
This feels like one of those games, right?
Yeah, and Hide and Seek says, kind of scared when all you guys like this over, but you're not when the market isn't on it, right? So at least for me, the market is not so everybody isn't betting the over. We just like it, and that's a different situation than some of the times where we've been on something, the market is moving in that direction, and everybody's on the same side. It's not like that. So I feel this is a good spot. I feel this is a good spot for the over because I think that none is going to step up and have a big game, and I like Isaiah Brock and Jalen Hayes a lot, and Northern Kentucky's a better team.
Hako Schofield says, "What up, Pete and Jimmy? I'm late tonight. Fuck." Well, we're very nice to have you here at 6:38. Very nice to jump in there, Hako Schofield. Thank you so much for jumping in. Love Hako Schofield. Hako Schofield was the first commenter, I believe, in my memory to repeatedly say, give this show likes, this is the best show out there. Every time he was in there, he made those comments, and we really appreciated Hako Schofield.
Absolutely, we do. We love Hako Schofield.
All right, well, I am feeling okay about my play on Northern Kentucky. I liked a lot the fact that JP Fahey says I'm more than Northern. I like that comment a lot. I'm on Northern Kentucky heavy. They are very underrated. Someone like JP Fahey would not make a comment like that unless it had real weight with him, and that's a good comment. Sometimes some commenters make certain kinds of comment that I feel are like very, very key and have a lot of weight as opposed to like other comments where people are saying like, I'm on this or I like that or this and that. But a comment like that in those words makes me think I'm
JP
liking.
Fahey also is on the best 2 months run within his last 6 years of handicapping.
Really?
So it is a good time to listen clearly to what he has to say and trust him.
All right. Well, once again, I definitely like the over more than the side, but I'm happy to be taking the side here, and I'm going to hold off taking the first half and doubling up. Okay. Let's see. What else do you like, Jim?
Well, Paulie D says I'm late too. Fuck.
Okay. And then Cal State, Bakersfield, Seattle. Everyone in the morning show liked Seattle. I'm passing on that game. Didn't even look at it. Not familiar enough with the teams naturally to want to look into it deep, and I didn't. What do you think? Have anything to say about that one, Jim?
On the Seattle game?
Yeah.
Yes, I very much enjoyed. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I very much enjoyed breaking down the Seattle game. CSU Bakersfield has two bigs in 6'10" Egyptian senior Moataz Ali and 6'11" Falou Ndoye from Senegal. They like to play these bigs, and this is crucially important for this game because Seattle has a 7'3", 285-pound monster, Aaron Menzies. And when teams play Seattle that don't like to play their bigs, they go small and make Aaron Menzies useless. Menzies averages 11.3 points and 8.3 boards. Bakersfield will challenge him, and that will help Seattle. As I said, teams that go small neutralize Menzies. Menzies put up 25 points and 15 boards last out versus Rio Grande. 6'8", 200-pound Slovenian Matej Kavis plays right beside Menzies and puts up 17.4 points, 5.7 boards. Seattle has 5 players in double figures. Bakersfield has lost 6 in a row before beating 2 in 20 Chicago State. Seattle would be too much for Cal State Bakersfield, and I am doubling up on Seattle.
All right. Everyone liking that one. Ben Goldstein says, best college play today. I love Seattle. Best college play today. Everyone in the chat box was loving Seattle today. So you want them on what? Full game, first half, double up? What do you want, Jim?
That's what I want. First half, full game.
Both of them. Yep. Doubling up. Okay, so the full game will be -5. Let's find the best line chop at -5, -106 at Pinnacle. And let's go to SBR Odds first half screen where we can line chop for the best first half line for you here, Jim. 2.5 -113, unless you want 3 -105. No, take 2.5.
Yep.
All right. First half -2.5, -113. That is the current line at Pinnacle. All right, and that wraps it up for college basketball. No, can you believe it? No, we have to stop the college basketball segment now because there's no more games to discuss. Can you believe this shit, Jimmy the Bag?
Is that really all of them? Wow.
That's it. I would love to be haphazard and crazily analyzing, a million different games for 2 seconds each and giving 15 million picks. out. But we've run out of college basketball games. Unbelievable.
I love this. Joe D says Seattle is my play of the day.
Wow,
A
fuck.
Twatty Latte says plenty of Twatty juice on this
the
one.
fuck? Everyone-
Seattle -5. And I tell you what, it does not make me nervous when we're all on the same play.
No, does this? Should I just blindly tail all you guys? Joe D, Seattle play of the day. Ben Goldstein, best college play today. Jimmy the Bag looked into it deep. He likes it. Twate Latte also likes it. Everyone likes it.
John Harvard says Aaron Menzies is a mutt beast because he is 7'3", 285 pounds.
Gogster says, I'm on Seattle. Makes me a bit nervous. I don't know the team, but it was a clear Seattle play for me. Paulie D says, I will be at the Seattle game.
Oh, Paulie, that's dope, man. If you're on Twitter, please give us live reports.
Jeez, everyone. Should I try to just like sneak in a cheap 2 units on my record by just tailing you guys on first half full game? There's that much of an edge here, you think?
Piratoon says
Yeah.
Seattle all the way too.
Wow.
I think this is a. So the reason why I like this spot so much is because Cal State Bakersfield is going to go at Menzies. They have 2 guys, 2 big, 6'10", 6'11", that they play a lot. And if Cal State Bakersfield had a small lineup, I would be concerned. I'd be concerned. I'd be like, oh well, I guess. Shit, they're going to have to move, what's his name, Cavis over to the 5. They're going to have to, who are they going to play at the 4? And, I'm happy. I like the spot. I like the matchup.
All right, you know what? I don't usually blindly tail people, but I will do this. I will blindly tail you, Jim, and everyone else in chat. I'll take Seattle first half -2.5, -113, and Seattle -5, -106. Everyone liking it. I'll blindly tail it. I'll add it. I'll try to sneak on a cheap extra 2 units, just a blind tail there, and if they both cash an extra cheap 2 units onto my overall record. I didn't look at that game at all. I just ignored it.
Oh, here we go. OJ says Seattle losing tonight.
Oh,
So we got the one.
Is he saying that just because just to be contrarian?
Possibly,
Or is that a
yeah.
serious opinion there? Flashback of Duquesne. That's right. Everyone liked Duquesne. Yeah, what was up with that, Jim?
Hey, man.
Yeah, but that was actually more just Maxwell Smart loved it, right?
Yes, and Max
this
has been
is
hitting at a
multiple
very
people.
high level. But you know what? This is a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
But also the matchup, I can see why. Like I see the matchup, I see why it works.
And now YYC Golfer says CS Bakersfield +6 is the play. Are these guys just being contrarian, or are these really opinions?
No. I would say YYC Golfer would give a legitimate opinion.
Ole Miss says yes, Seattle.
Yeah, I'm really comfortable with this.
comfortable
spot
with
in this
it?
play, yeah.
Okay, you have had some very good when you do breakdowns like this. Unless they involve like a ranked team against some other teams, then things get a little bit fishy. But games like these, like low level conferences where you go in and do your matchup analysis, Jim, your record overall has been great in my experience in these shows, Jim.
I love this chance to have 9 games and get
Yeah.
to cap them all. It's just. And that's why I know that people were uncomfortable with this card.
Oh, see, here you go. OJ now says, I threw like 4 units on Seattle, so this better win. Okay. So he's just being contrarian.
Yeah.
Ben Goldstein just chimes in. I'll admit I had Duquesne also. But in college basketball, and this is one of the most important things when you're doing sports betting, or really any kind of investing, but especially sports betting. The losses will come no matter who you are. So if you have a loss, you want to look back and say, all right, was my handicapping sound? Well, did I make a mistake, or was this just the result of variance or unpredictable factors? Because just because you have a loss does not mean that the factors involved in your pick was the wrong approach. You know what I'm saying?
I thought Duquesne was the better team in that game. They got off to that atrocious start. They were down 20-5.
Yeah. So not necessarily. So just because you and maybe Bruce Ian is mutt beast because he just made a comment. Fuck him. That's the entire comment. Fuck him. Apropos of nothing. Apropos of absolutely nothing. Bruce Ian comes. That is a very, very, very mutt beast-esque post.
Yeah.
Right there. Fuck him. Apropos of nothing. Who? Fuck who? Fuck whom? Bruce Ian, whoever you are, fuck whom? Let's see, fuck whom? Who is he referring to? The last comment that refers to anyone is Lee Davis saying Loshak probably is mutt beast. So is Bruce Ian saying fuck me? Bruce Ian, fuck whom? Please enlighten us. Be more specific, which is something I think I've begged Mutt Beast to be also as well in his comments. All right, so everyone's on Seattle. I will take them. Yes, everyone was on Duquesne. It was not good that it lost, but just because it lost does not necessarily mean that the factors that everyone used to give Duquesne were that it was the wrong approach and that it was a flawed analysis. So that's it. Let's review the college picks and then we'll move on. I gave all my picks in the morning. I've added on here Yale under 134.5. Seattle first half -2.5 and Seattle -5. And I did take back my Wright State pick -11. I took Detroit +11.5 -114. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I did it. And Jim, in college basketball, all his picks came in the afternoon. He took Seattle first half -2.5, Seattle -5. The Ohio game over 156.5 going against me. The Brown game under 151 going against me. The Yale game under 134.5 and Yale -4.5 -102. He's also on Wright State -11, Michigan State under 136.5, and Northern Kentucky over 157. All right. Now let's move on to I believe NBA, right?
Yes.
All right. So a big NBA card. Jimmy the Bag and I gave a whole bunch of picks. Let's check the line moves. I guess the big line move of note is that I wanted to give Brooklyn +6.5. I was stupidly saying I wanted to wait to see if it went to 7, and people in the chat box warned me that they were looking at the way the money was coming in, who the public was betting, and they predicted that it wouldn't go to 7. That was probably going to go down, and they were dead on. It's now 5.5. I could have gotten 6.5 in the morning. Now can't even get 6. It's now down to 5.5. So I don't know if I want to take that. Atlanta, that was another pick I was thinking about giving. Jim gave that one, and that one has not moved at all. That is still 7 across the board market wide. I also took Toronto -7.5, afraid that one would move, and that will move just a teeny bit. It's now up to 7.5 -115. And the Indiana-Cleveland game. Cleveland's been just an absolute, abomination from an ATS perspective, which is a cash machine if you're betting against them. That is, it was up to 6.5 earlier today. Now it's down to 6 or 5.5. Interesting there. Houston, New Orleans. Some people gave the opinion that they like Houston a lot to roll over New Orleans, and Jimmy the Bag and I both took the overs in that game. Jim also took San Antonio. That line has not moved at all. And interestingly, the Knicks are now a favorite at Phoenix. They were an underdog, I believe, in the morning show, right? And now they're a favorite, so that's kind of interesting. What do you have to say about NBA, Jim?
Well, I do, after sitting with it, for the whole day, I guess I'm really happy that we doubled up on this Rockets-Pelicans spot. Or did you double up on it as well?
On the Rockets and Pelicans?
Yeah. Or did
on the over, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really like I really like that spot. I think it's going to be an exciting game in New Orleans, and it's going to be sold out, and they've won 6 of 7. I think it's just going to be a lot of offense and a lot of excitement. Even though Rockets have been trending to more defensive-looking situations, I really think this is going to be a nice spot. I've heard some people, and even Toronto guys, tell me that the Jazz are a tricky team for the Raptors. And my reply to them was that this is not the same Jazz team that even started the year. This is definitely not the same Jazz team as last year. So I don't even care about that information. But it did give me a reason for pause because these are Toronto guys telling me this. I am thankful that I'm off the Pacers and Cavaliers. That is a very uncomfortable spot. Ben Goldstein says Suns Pick'em is my top play on this card by far. And, that was another situation where let's get to that game right now. That I was uncomfortable with. I was very uncomfortable. Some of these games were extremely uncomfortable. In the Knicks-Suns game, I don't know who's going to show up in this spot. The Blazers at Mavericks game, now that has moved in our favor, I believe, right? The under has gone.
The Blazers Mavs, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by another very curious post from this guy, Bruce Ian. He says, Mutt Beast never go under, it over or nothing. Mutt Beast only takes overs. According to Bruce Ian, another very sort of hard to figure out, very inscrutable comment there. Very inscrutable, this commenter Buck Ian and the drama with Mutt Beast. All right, so what was your question, Jim?
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, the under. Sorry, there's a question about the Raptors that we'll get into in a second, but the Blazers-Mavericks games moved in our direction, right?
The Blazers-Mavs.
The under 210?
We took 210, and that I believe I already saw that move. Yeah, not a huge move, but it's 209 or 208 and a half.
Thought it was a little bigger.
Yes.
JR3 Inc. says, Jimmy, thoughts on Raptors over 49.5 points in the first half, paying 1.57 on the decimal system. I like that. I mean, I think the Raptors are so fresh. I didn't take the spread. What is the full game spread on that? Speaking
on
of
what?
On the Raptors Jazz.
You bet it, Jim. 7.5. or 8?
No. Sorry, totals. Excuse me.
The total is 208 and a half.
208 and
Why,
a half.
people are saying they like the under on that one?
They're just questioning. JR3 Inc. says thoughts on Raptors over 49 and a half first half.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking that, Toronto's experiencing some success right now playing defense. We know what Utah does. I was thinking about maybe taking an under here or the first half under. And I'm starting to like the full game on Toronto less and less, Jim. You like this one? You think they will?
I like it a lot.
You like it a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it a lot. This is a fresh squad. They've been practicing. They're at home where they're 17-3. This Jazz team. I'm telling you, if Jazz had Thabo Cephalosha, I would have concern because I'd be like, wow, he's a great defender of the perimeter. But this Raptors team's just gonna be so fresh. Run these guys ragged.
Yeah, I mean, they do sometimes get those big margin wins at home and just run away with it, don't they?
They do, but another thing they do is they take a huge lead at the half and let a team come back in the third quarter. That's another. I really see them. I think they're in a good spot tonight.
All right, I'm not gonna. It's such a stupid move to take picks back. I'm not gonna take picks back. I'll roll with it. The first half makes me. I mean, the full game makes me a little bit nervous. I like the first half a lot more. And as far as the total is concerned, what do you think about the total on this one, Jim? You think it's going to be surprisingly low scoring? I mean, Toronto has had success playing strong defensive games recently.
And I think they can shut this Jazz team down. So I would have concern about the over if I had it, because on the full game, both teams over, definitely. There's a question here about this Memphis spot, and all day I've been waiting to figure out whether Tyreke Evans plays, because if Tyreke Evans plays, I think this is another great spot for the over. But let me see if I can get the latest information on Tyreke, because I couldn't get anything.
Quick score update in Buffalo, Ohio. After 8 minutes, only 17 points scored.
I know, I saw that.
Ha ha! No, sorry, I don't mean to be a dick, but it's TV. We gotta.
Hey,
you know
yeah,
what
it's
I'm
all
saying?
good. It's all good, man.
People, being a dick is funny and entertaining for people. So, you don't mind? You don't mind?
Not
Okay.
at all, man. Not at all.
Ha ha! No, all right, okay. No, sorry about that. I don't want to be a dick to you just for the laughs.
No, man, it's worth it.
I mean, it's amazing. I'll sacrifice broads to get laughs, but I won't be a dick to my friends to get laughs, to my male friends. I am so naturally MGTOW, Jim. I'm just so naturally MGTOW to the bone. I was freaking born MGTOW, man. All right, so
Fahey's on Raptors first quarter and first half. Says love this team.
Yeah, maybe I should try to sneak in another unit on my record and take the Raps first quarter. Although I don't know. Look, Native Queen has great success taking some of these first quarter plays as big favorites. But I haven't studied first quarters as much as I would like to in the NBA. But it's just you only got 12 minutes in the first quarter. I hate taking a team like -2.5 or 3 in the first quarter. You know what I mean?
I do. I feel you. It can be dangerous. My man Al Mack out of the 6 has a nice little comment here. It says, yo, I just landed a production assistant job at the Air Canada Center, boys. Going to have some decent info to hand out for the second half of the season.
No shit.
That's fucking great, man.
Is that true?
That's true. I love Al Mack. I've met him.
Really?
He was bartending at a bar in Toronto.
Oh, my God.
And I met him, and he's a great, great guy.
Jim, can you get me a fucking citizenship to Canada and let's just fucking move to Canada? Can you get me Canadian citizenship, Jim?
It's a great spot,
God,
man.
my dream would be just to live in Canada, hang out at bars, talk up the Canadian broads. Ugh.
Yeah, we do have beautiful women up there.
Oh God, I love Canadian women. They're a little bit bigger boned than some of the other countries' women. I like that, Jimmy the Bag. They got some bigger boned women up there in Canada. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course
I
do.
like that. I love that, Jimmy the Bag. All right. All right. Okay. So let's see. What else do you think about these NBA games, Jim?
I'm just clearly thinking about this Clippers Grizz spot because I think that over. So JP Fahey says I'm thinking of jumping on the Clippers Grizz. Tyreke Evans is just so important to that play. Without him, what's that number at? Right, it's not hot at 212.5, 211, 212 going down. I mean, I like it. I know the Clippers like to run and move the ball. But I'm not going to take it until I hear about Tyreke Evans. It's just that simple. So I'll stay on Roto World and all those different sites to see if I can get information. But until then, I can't. Oh man, Al Mack says bigger boned women indeed, Pete.
What?
Al Mack.
Where?
Bigger
bonded women indeed, Pete. What does that mean?
Well, I think he meant boned.
Oh, yeah. Bigger boned women indeed. What is that? He's agreeing with me.
Yeah, man. Al Mack's from Toronto. Man, I like him. He's a great guy, man. I just met him one night, talked sports with him, and then he came on all our stuff. He's a great capper.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And he's a friggin' bart. God, I would just, all I want to do is just move to Toronto and spend all day and all night in Al Mack's bar.
But that's what. Sorry, he left the bar, and I love the bar too. It was an empty bar that had TVs everywhere, sports TV. No, did you see? That's what he said. He's just got a job working at the Air Canada Center.
Oh.
That's where the Raptors and the Leafs play. So he's going to be giving us inside information.
Oh man,
all game. Especially like
super awesome.
if he was playing, if we had somebody in Memphis right now, they could tell us if Tyreek is on the floor and shoot around. You know,
man, that Clippers Memphis game. Actually, the Clippers are kind of like the Clippers are just all over the place. Their last 3 games were all big margin ATS losses, but all soared over. The Clippers are a team that I'm just kind of like kind of watching and waiting, and I feel like I haven't bet a Clippers game in like a month or so. That team I don't have a good read on. All right, let's talk about some of this other shit, Jim. What do you think about throwing down a play on Indiana +6 against Cleveland, B, taking Brooklyn even though it's down to a 5.5 against Milwaukee, and I guess those are the only other things I'm thinking about here last second.
I'm very thankful to not be on that Pacers-Cavaliers game. Very thankful. So, if there was a play, I mean, of course it makes sense that you would take the Pacers at +6, but I have no idea.
You think there's any way Cleveland? I mean, I guess, sure, Cleveland could win by double digits easily.
I don't. It's very difficult for me to see a world where that happens.
Yeah. So why wouldn't we take it? I mean, I could see Cleveland up double digits in the first half again, but are they? Well, okay, so tell. All right, what change are they making again? They're putting Tristan Thompson in it, right? So what are they doing?
They're taking Jay Crowder's going to the bench. Tristan Thompson's at the 5. They're moving Kevin Love from the 5 to the 4.
But is that what their problems are?
Yes, I've been waiting for them to put Tristan Thompson in there and slow the pace down. You have to defend. This is an older team. You don't want to be playing at 100 miles an hour.
Right,
with an older
but
team.
is that going to solve their problems as far as getting margin wins and 10-point wins?
No, I guess you're right. No, it won't help them blow teams out, but it'll help them win games.
Yeah,
and play 4 quarters.
What do you think about tripling up on the total? I'm going to take the first quarter under on the Cleveland game. What do you think about that, Jim?
It scares me. It scares me. Yeah, it just scares me. Just because there's so much unknown in this game, we just don't know the players are going to play with this new lineup. I'm filled with fear when you say that.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate that. All right, and let's see. And then finally, Brooklyn. Should I do the weak move and take Brooklyn at +5.5 against Milwaukee? I mean, Giannis is back, but I feel like Milwaukee still has. But they played well without him, though.
Did they? They beat the Suns by 4 points?
I mean, at least they won. They had some other games where they were just like, they didn't win ATS, but they still got it outright. I mean, the knock on them before was that they were all Giannis and nothing else, and they proved that's not the case, right?
This Bucks team is being disappointing now. I don't like Jason Kidd. I can see why they would want him out of there for off the court stuff and for switching the rotation up nonstop. Even the fact that he came out about that conversation he had with Antetokounmpo shows the kind of weakness this guy has inside him. But in saying that, the Bucks just aren't the type of team I thought they were, and I don't like the Bledsoe pickup. I would rather them have a bunch of tough guys around them and not Bledsoe as a second scoring option. Yeah, they need to figure out their team, but. They're a confusing group, and I like the Nets.
Yeah.
So I like the Nets, and but because I'm so confused with this Bucks team, and the Nets, we've taken the Nets a lot this year, and they are not as consistent as we'd like them to be.
No, they are not. The Bucks have lost 7 out of their last 8 games ATS, Jimmy the Bag.
Wow.
They just had that one big win on the road against Washington, but we've seen what's up with Washington. Washington's just a team that is just in disarray right now.
Well, a couple things. First off, Pyratoon says Tyreek Evans is out, so I'm going to be off that game. Twatty Latte says Milwaukee -6. And then Melee Payless Way says Brooklyn, Pete.
All right, you know what? Sometimes when there's a game like this and you just be like, all right, let's pretend I didn't even have an opinion or a lean on it. I'll just pass it. I got a lot of picks in the NBA tonight anyway.
Well, we have Tomor who always gives great notes. He says, Milwaukee's bench isn't the same with Monroe out and Della Vedova hurt. Greek Freak hasn't been healthy since the beginning of the year.
Yeah. All right. So once again, in my leans column here in the NBA, definitely Brooklyn. I had them at +6.5 in my leans column. It's now down to 5.5. Indiana +6 is definitely in my leans column. Cleveland first quarter -2 is definitely in my leans column. New Orleans, Houston first quarter over 59 is definitely in my leans column. And the Bulls game and Cleveland game first quarter unders 57.5 are also both definitely in my leans column. I bet you like all those leans cash.
Your leans are very, very strong.
You know what I'm saying?
And Isan Sofagari, another good capper, says Brooklyn's been covering. I like it. Go for it, Pete. Shelldog83 says lean Nets.
Yes, interesting stuff. All right, well, I'll just keep it at that. We've definitely communicated all our opinions on all these games. Now let's quickly move on. Move on, Jim.
Yep.
All right, so Jim and I have not added any NBA picks, I believe. All right, now let's quickly move on to MMA. I did preview this one with Andreas Hale. It's kind of a tricky card. I only gave one pick. I did give Frank Camacho as an underdog to beat Dober. I bet it actually at plus 155, but because we had to do the show today, I had to make my official pick at plus 140. Camacho's had some issues cutting weight. This is going to be welterweight, though. If this was a lightweight fight, I would not be liking Camacho here. But at welterweight, I think that helps him, and I think he's going to be able to use his preferred pace in this one. So as an underdog, I took him. That's my only play on the card. Camacho plus 140. Then, of course, the rematch of Jacare and Derek Brunson. When I first started capping the fight, I thought that Brunson would be a good bet at plus 135. It got bet way down. He's now plus 100, all the way down from plus 135. But Andreas Hale likes Jacare here to get the win at minus 120. I don't know about that. It's a little hard to know what to expect from Jacare. Obviously, he's 38 years old and coming off a brutal knockout, but still has vicious skills on the ground. So not too enticing to bet against. I was going to take a shot with Brunson if it was plus 135, but now at plus 100, it's just a pass for me. The Bermudez-Fili fight is interesting. Most of the opinions that I've read like Bermudez by decision, and that was Andreas Hale's opinion on that one as well. That's plus 160. I'm passing on that one. The other fight with Gillespie is just a weird matchup, and Gillespie is just too big of a favorite here to bet, so that's a pass for me. Camacho plus 140 is my only pick on the main card coming up this Saturday. And again, the Souza-Brunson fight, a very interesting matchup, and I'm just going to pass on it. Maybe I could see a shot with the over 1.5 rounds, similar to the Stipe fight. You could easily see Souza getting knocked out. You could easily see Souza with a first round sub. But considering that both these guys have already fought each other, probably will be respecting each other. Similar to the Stipe fight, that was a good call last time. I could see a play on the over 1.5 rounds at like minus 135 or something. So that would be a lean of mine as well. Souza and Brunson over 1.5 minus 135, but I'm not going to bet that one. My only actual bet was on Camacho plus 155. It's now down to plus 140. And that's my take on UFC on Fox coming up. And Jimmy the Bag, of course, has broken down the Pegasus Stakes, right? The Pegasus Cup, which is coming up this Saturday. Tell us about that, Jim.
I will tell you about this. And we were just inundated with so much college, so I have nothing written down. But I'll just speak from the heart about this horse race. How you make money in horse racing is when the public is in love with the horse and the horse is on the decline. Mm-hmm. And then you don't even add that horse into your exotics. In the Breeders' Cup, we made that work because I told everybody that Arrowgate was on the decline. And then Arrowgate didn't even come in the top 3, and there was a lot of money to be made. Now, I don't think Gunrunner is on the kind of decline that I believed Arrowgate was, but I do think Gunrunner is on the decline. So then you have to look, what is a horse? Where is there a horse that's ready to fire? Mm-hmm. And you have a Hall of Fame trainer in Bob Baffert. You have a 3-year-old that didn't start in the Derby, and came halfway through the year, much like Arrowgate did. Arrowgate came out of nowhere halfway through the year. He came in the summer, and he won by 10 or 11 lengths. West Coast had that kind of thing. Bob Baffert decided to fire Collected again after the Breeders' Cup, and Collected through a dud. And he held back West Coast. He's been training West Coast. It's the start of his 4-year-old season when a horse becomes a monster. When the horse they believe that the male horses are at their best somewhere late in their 4-year-old season. This is the spot. And I don't think that people should have Gunrunner if they're going to add an exactor box. If you want to do something, maybe you can add a Sharp Azteca, who a lot of people are on because he just fired. These horses rarely fire their best race 2 races in a row. Sharp Azteca just ran his best race. Have we seen West Coast's best race? No. I really think this is a spot for West Coast to dominate. Now, because you're getting him at 8-1, you can bet him across the board. And another reason why you can bet him across the board is because Gunrunner might not come second either. If Gunrunner is off the board, then your place bets and your show bets hit big. I really think that this is a great Great spot for West Coast. I wish I had more time to hammer horse racing. It's my favorite sport. I wish I had a whole write-up right here and I could break down every single horse. But I'm just speaking from the heart here. How you make money is when you find a horse that the public's in love with, that they have a recency and a vividness bias like they had for Arrogate, now they have for Gunrunner, and you bet against, you fade that horse with a young, up-and-coming horse that could be the next champion, could be the next fastest horse in the world. West Coast fits that perfectly. Here's a comment from Joe D. Difficult to win a 9 furlong at Gulfstream from an outer post, as we know, and that's why one of the reasons why I stayed off Collected and went on West Coast in that Breeders' Cup. With that in mind, Gunrunner might be hung up to dry. Number 2 is the West Coast. He's in a perfect spot. I just think this is a huge. I bet you we never get a chance to bet on West Coast with this kind of number again. I bet you never get a chance to bet on West Coast at worse than 5-1 or better than 5-1 odds. I just think this is a perfect spot. And I wish I could talk about more, and I wish I had everything written out. I'm just talking from the heart. Bet West Coast across the board, and don't add Gunrunner into your exotics.
Okay, great analysis, Jimmy the Bag. And I guess that just about wraps it up. You got anything else to say about horses, or shall we wrap it up?
That's
all right. Great show, guys. Great week. It was a profitable week for both Jimmy the Bag and I. Ups and downs in some sports, but overall a nice week. We closed the first half in NHL very well. Hopefully we'll be able to pick it up once again when the NHL second half of the season resumes. And that wraps it up for this week. Thanks so much to everyone. We'll see you on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time.